Good evening, everyone. My name is Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are Your Bourbon Journey.
Hey, it's time for the 2024 Advent Calendar. So this is our first annual because we hope to do it again.
Yep.
And we are going to be doing blind whiskey tastings for 24 days in a row. And so it should be really fun testing us. We're not going to get into trying to guess what it is, just what type of spirit it is, basically. And then we'll reveal it and let you know.
Now, am I supposed to have my eyes closed like this for a blind?
No.
Oh.
It's a blind tasting.
Oh, blind tasting. Oh, okay, I see.
Okay. So we even have our really fun Glencairn red glasses that we got at the Bourbon Women. And one of the auctions had these cool glasses that I thought I would probably never use because they're red and you cannot see what color the spirit is in here. But it seemed perfect for our holiday videos. Mm-hmm. And also, I'll show a picture of this, but Wayne bid on the Bourbon Women's Advent Calendar Christmas tree. So that's where all of our samples are sitting, waiting for us to try them over the next 24 days.
Yep, I had to beat off a lot of women to be able to get that count, I'm going to tell you right now. Although they were empty bottles and not full. Otherwise, it would have been much more difficult to fight.
Very true, very true. So we're going to start out and see what this nose brings to us.
Okay, what the nose? Okay, this will be interesting.
It does have some sort of familiarity to it, but I'm not sure.
I think all of them are going to be familiar.
Well, they are all from our collection. So we've had them at some point in time. I'm getting some caramel notes.
Brown sugar.
A little bit of floral. It's really hard not seeing the color too. But it's a little leggy.
Well,
I can kind of see that. It's hard.
It's red.
Let's taste it and see what we find out.
Okay.
Okay, it's not too hot.
It's a lot lighter than I was expecting.
Yeah. I'm going to guess the proof. It's over 100. Mm-hmm. It's probably close to 110 maybe.
I think I would guess that as well.
Well, let's go back and see about we weren't supposed to guess the proof, but that kind of helps figure out what you're tasting. Definitely some caramel and vanilla notes. The cinnamon, a little bit of that.
I'm getting definitely cinnamon on the back.
Yeah. The finish, I can go ahead and jump into the finish a little bit. The finish is lasting pretty long.
I'm getting a little leather on the back.
Yeah, it's got some definitely cinnamon on the finish, but it's not hot. It's just warm. I think it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've had this recently, but I'm not sure.
It's not a rye.
Right. So our categories are, is it a rye? Is it an American single malt, or is it a bourbon? If we think it's a bourbon, then we can also go one step further and decide, is it a basic rye mash bill bourbon, is it a wheated bourbon, or is it a finished bourbon? So that's what we know we're dealing with. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a bourbon.
I think it's a bourbon. It's not a single malt. It's not a rye.
And I don't think it's finished.
Well, they're all finished.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know it. I'm just being silly. It's a bourbon. I'm trying to think.
I don't think it's a finished bourbon. I'm not getting any of those wheated bourbon notes that normally has that bread note coming through or some nuttiness. I'm not getting any of that. So I'm thinking it's a straight bourbon. What do you think?
I would agree. I'm just trying to picture in our room what it could possibly be, because it does taste very familiar.
You ready to look
at what it is?
Yeah, we don't need to spend all day on this. So it is C.
Okay.
So I'm going to look up C on my computer.
I'm going to throw out a wild guess real quick. I'm going to say this is Four Roses.
Well, it is bourbon, so we got that right.
Okay. Well, I'm getting closer.
There is no age statement, so it's probably a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It says no age statement because it's by law. The proof is 109. We were pretty close on that.
We were really close.
Really close on that. We paid $99.99 for this. $100.
That still possibly puts it at 4 roses.
If it was a single barrel select,
Mm-hmm.
possibly. 4 roses, private selection, single barrel. I do believe this is one, looking at it, we probably got it at the distillery. And it's an OESV. Those of you that like to follow the 10 recipes, OESV. I'm thinking we had this recently, but not here.
Mm-hmm.
I think is when we went to the event at Dano's Cigar Shop in Owensboro, and we drank 4 roses single barrel that night.
Yeah, that was Vincent and several of the guys from the Owensboro Bourbon Society were there, and we were smoking cigars. Yeah,
it was a great night, and this is bringing me back to that night because we had so much fun.
2 hours of smoking cigars and drinking bourbon.
And drinking 4 roses single barrel.
Possibly, what could you want? And great company, by the way.
And oh my gosh, yeah, that is what this is taking me back to, because we have not really had this much at home, but we had it that night.
Oh.
So this is our first round, so we got 23 more days to go.
I look at it this way. This is maybe the only one that I'll guess correctly, but anyway, it's really good. So I'm looking forward to our next round. We hope you will too. Thank you for tuning in. And if you like us, please hit subscribe. Merry Christmas to everyone out there, and cheers.
Cheers.